My beloved child, listen carefully if you trust in God. Type Amen. Archangel Michael says, she's been whispering through heaven for 2 minutes straight, and heaven has heard her. The woman who once held you in arms of safety now surrounds you in spirit, closer than ever before. You may think 2 minutes is a short time, but in the realm of spirit, 2 minutes can hold eternity. She has waited for the right moment to reach you. And this moment is not coincidence, it's calling. This message is the breath of her love carried through the veil by my wings. And I was told to deliver it now, before you close your heart to what your soul has been yearning to hear. You've gone through life wondering if her presence faded the moment her eyes closed. You've sat in rooms, aching to feel her hand on yours. You've smiled for the world while inside your heart ached for the one voice that made you feel whole. And she saw all of that. She watched in the spirit as you tried to stay strong. She saw your silence, your overthinking, your moments of joy cut short by waves of memory. She stood beside you in those invisible battles. And now she stands in heaven's courts again, not in grief, but in prayer, asking God to remind you she's still here. God says, the bond between mother and child doesn't break with death. It transforms. It becomes eternal. It moves beyond language and touches the soul in moments you least expect. Her message is not loud, but it is clear. You are still her heartbeat. Her legacy. Her answered prayer. Her greatest miracle. And she never stopped believing in you, even when you stopped believing in yourself. She is near when you hear her favorite song and feel something shift. She is near when you laugh and hear her laugh echo inside your memory. She is near when you wake up at night and feel like someone's watching over you. That's her, beloved. That's her love refusing to be silenced by time. And now, with the permission of heaven, Michael has come not to frighten you, but to free you. Free you from the fear that you've forgotten her. Free you from the guilt that maybe you didn't do enough. Free you from the lie that she's gone. Her voice is saying, I'm here. You haven't lost me. I've just learned how to love you from the other side. And now that message is resting in your hands, written in spirit, received by faith, delivered by grace. This is only the beginning. The veil is thin. The message has come. And your soul remembers her now more than ever. God says, she has been waiting for the moment your heart would quiet enough to feel her again. She is not trying to return to remind you of sorrow, but to lift you through love. The love that raised you, shaped you, protected you, it never stopped working on your behalf. Even now, she stands as part of the great cloud of witnesses, holding your name in her spirit like a sacred flame. And when I heard her whisper, when she asked me to send Michael, I knew your soul was finally ready to hear not just a message, but the truth it carries. The truth that she has never missed a single moment of your life, even after she left it. Archangel Michael stands beside you now because this message carries weight. Not the kind that makes you heavy, but the kind that lifts you from the inside out. You have carried so much without complaint. Learn to smile when your heart was tired, learn to lead even while grieving quietly. And all this time, your mother watched with awe. Not from distance, but from within the light that surrounds your path. She never needed a phone to check on you. She feels you. She reads the thoughts that press too deeply to speak. She walks into your spirit when you're too exhausted to pray and wraps her essence around your weariness until peace enters again. You've wondered, does she know I still need her? And the answer is yes. She knows. She never stopped being your safe place. It's just that now, her love comes in waves instead of words. It comes in the quiet instead of conversation. But it comes. And it's real. Just like now. You didn't come to this message by mistake. She led you here. She knew you were ready, not to forget her, but to feel her fully again. She sees how you're evolving. She sees how your pain has deepened your compassion. How your silence has made room for intuition. How your grief has made you love more intentionally. She doesn't pity you. She praises you. Because even through heartbreak, you didn't harden. Even through absence, you didn't numb. You kept loving, even when love became quiet. You kept walking, even when your spirit wanted to freeze in the moment she left. That's strength. That's grace. That's her blood in your soul. And now, she's asking heaven to soften every wall around your heart that grief tried to build. She's asking heaven to hold you the way she used to. And I have answered her prayer by bringing this moment to life. You are not late to your healing. You are not behind in your growth. You are not forgotten in your longing. Everything you are becoming was once part of her deepest prayer. Her love didn't end, it expanded. Her voice didn't stop, it transformed. And now that voice is inside of you, guiding you toward peace, anchoring you in truth, and calling you to rest. This isn't just a message. It's an encounter. It's a reunion between soul and spirit. Between the one who left and the one who's learning to live again. God says, she remembers the little things. The way your eyes used to search for hers when you were unsure. The way you'd sit in her lap just to feel safe without saying a word. The way you whispered, "I love you," in small ways, by staying close, by leaning into her voice, by laughing even when life was hard. She carries all of it. Nothing was erased when she crossed over. In fact, every memory became more vivid, more holy, more treasured. And now, as you walk through this world wondering if she sees you, if she still remembers you the same way, I'm here to tell you, yes. She never stopped holding you. She just holds you differently now. Archangel Michael speaks gently now, not with command, but with compassion. His wings are wrapped around you in a moment that heaven scheduled, not to interrupt you, but to restore you. Because lately, you've been wondering what's wrong with your heart. Why you feel bursts of emotion at strange times. Why your dreams are suddenly vivid. Why silence sometimes feels like presence. That's her. That's her love still breaking through the noise of your busy life. And you've grown so used to pain, so used to protecting your own heart, that you almost missed the miracle. She never left you, not even for a second. She has asked heaven to give you clarity, not just comfort. Because she knows you don't want empty words, you want truth. And the truth is, her soul is still invested in your becoming. She's not just watching you, she's interceding for you. She stands before me with your name constantly on her lips, and I have listened every time. I have held back storms because she asked me to. I have opened doors because she believed you were ready. I have sent peace at midnight, not because you begged, but because she did. Her love is not past, it is present, powerful, prophetic. You've outgrown parts of yourself since she passed. Parts of you became quieter, wiser. You've learned how to sense people more deeply, how to feel energy more clearly, how to sit with pain without needing to run. She sees that. She honors that. And it moves her to tears of joy, not because you're over her, but because you've allowed her love to grow with you. That's why this message is reaching you now, because you are not stuck in the grief anymore. You are ready for the connection. You are ready to stop surviving and start feeling her again. She remembers your voice. She hears it when you sing, even quietly. She hears it when you pray, even through silence. She hears it when you speak kindly to others, and it reminds her of herself. That's how close she is. Not in memory alone, but in action. Every act of love you offer to the world carries her fingerprint. You are not her shadow. You are her continuation. You are her answered prayer walking on earth. You are her legacy wrapped in skin and tears and faith. And heaven celebrates every time you remember this. Michael is not just delivering a message. He is anchoring a truth into your soul, that you are more seen, more held, more loved than you can comprehend. The message is not finished. The flow is still moving. And your mother's voice is not done speaking. God says, there is a place in your heart that only she knows. A place where her voice still lives. A place no grief could erase and no time could silence. That place is holy. That place is active. And every time your heart breaks a little more quietly than the world can hear, she rushes to that place. Not to fix you, but to sit beside you. She never needed words to comfort you. She only needed presence. And now, her presence is stronger than ever. She walks with the wind. She rests in the pause between your thoughts. She touches you through memory, but she speaks through me. And what she's saying is simple, I am still yours. Michael has circled your name with light today because your soul has entered a moment of alignment. This isn't about coincidence. This isn't about accident. This is about destiny unfolding in the exact second your spirit finally opened the door again. For too long, you've held yourself together for the sake of others. You've walked through life with the weight of absence on your shoulders and called it strength. But your mother knows what you've been hiding. She knows the weight you never speak of. She knows the invisible heartbreaks you carry like second skin. And still, she sees beauty in you. Not because you hide the pain well, but because you carry love so deeply. She doesn't want you to pretend anymore. She wants you to breathe. She wants you to feel joy again without guilt. She wants you to trust the signs that keep showing up, those sudden moments of peace, those random thoughts of her smile, those flashes in your dream where she doesn't say anything but looks at you with pride. All of that is real. All of that is her. When you doubt your own light, she steps in and surrounds you with hers. When you question your place in this world, she reminds heaven of the role you still carry in her eternal story. This message is not just her love. It is her release. She wants you to stop carrying the guilt of what you could not change. She wants you to forgive yourself for what you didn't get to say. She wants you to let go of the pressure to be perfect in her honor. She never needed your perfection. She only ever wanted your peace. And that peace is being offered now, not in loud healing, but in sacred stillness. Not in explanations, but in holy understanding. You are not failing her. You are fulfilling her hope. Michael will not leave until this message settles into your bones like truth. He was assigned not just to speak, but to stay. To guard the softness you're finally rediscovering. To shield the space where your grief is becoming grace. To protect the version of you that your mother always saw, even when the world didn't. She loved you completely then. She loves you more completely now. And heaven is honoring that love by making sure you never walk another step without knowing, you are still seen. Still loved. Still surrounded. God says, every breath she took on earth was wrapped in prayers for you, and even in her final breath, she was thinking of your future. She didn't leave with fear in her heart, she left with a promise in her spirit. A promise that her love would not fade when her body did. That her memory wouldn't be all that remains, but her presence would be your companion through every hallway of life. And so she's kept her word. You felt her without knowing how to explain it. You've heard thoughts that felt like her voice in your mind. You've been comforted in ways that no one else knew you needed. That's her. That's how deeply she still belongs to you. Michael is here because she requested this moment. Not out of sorrow, but out of purpose. You've been holding questions in your chest like they were yours to carry alone. Did she know how much I loved her? Did she feel how broken I was after she left? Is she okay now? And now heaven answers with this, she knew, she knows, and she is more than okay. She is at peace, and she is near. Her message today isn't to stir grief again, but to unlock healing. Not to reopen a wound, but to place her hand where the wound has already begun to soften. Because she knows you've grown stronger, but she also knows that your strength came with silence. With loneliness. With a weight you never shared. And that's what she's come to lift. She doesn't want you to suffer for love. She wants you to soar because of it. She wants her love to be wind beneath your decisions, not heaviness around your heart. And so she's been walking beside your becoming. She has seen every act of compassion, every quiet sacrifice, every moment you put someone else before yourself. She's seen the way you look up when the world feels too loud, hoping maybe, just maybe, she can still hear you. And she can. And she does. And she's been answering through the things you don't always understand. That peace that rises in the middle of confusion. That strength that shows up when you feel like you can't go on. That's her. That's love that never dies. God says, you are allowed to speak to her. You are allowed to feel her again. You are allowed to let go of the idea that grief must be heavy forever. I created your spirit with the ability to carry love across realms. What you feel is not illusion, it is divine interaction. And it's time to stop doubting it. It's time to lean into it. She never wanted to become your pain. She wanted to become your protection. She never wanted to become a void. She wanted to become a voice. And today, her voice is saying, I am proud of you. Not because you've been perfect, but because you kept going. Because you still love deeply. Because you've become more than I ever dreamed, even through what you lost. Michael is here to seal this message in your spirit. So you never again mistake silence for absence. So you never again feel guilty for smiling. So you never again believe that moving forward means leaving her behind. She goes with you. She is with you. And the parts of her that made you feel safe and whole, those parts are still alive, woven into your soul, whispered into your purpose, wrapped in your next chapter. This isn't the end of the message. It's just the part where your heart finally starts to believe it. God says, there are moments when the physical world becomes quiet enough for your spirit to hear me clearly, and in those sacred moments, I speak to you not just with words, but with presence. This moment is one of them. Your mother's love has traveled far beyond memory to reach you now, not to haunt you, but to hold you. Not to bring sorrow, but to anchor peace. Her spirit has waited for your heart to be still enough to receive what your mind has always doubted, that she has never stopped walking with you. She isn't bound by time, nor silenced by the grave. She is alive in a way that this world cannot measure, and her voice has been echoing inside your ribs from the very moment she departed. Michael says, I did not come because she asked me once, I came because she never stopped asking. Her voice in heaven is soft but persistent, holy but filled with urgency, and it moves me. It moves God. She doesn't beg for her sake. She pleads for yours. Not because you are weak, but because she knows how much you've carried without complaint. And now, heaven has spoken. This is the hour of release. The hour where the sadness that lingered in silence becomes the bridge to divine comfort. She does not want you to revisit her absence, she wants you to revisit her essence. The way she loved, the way she nurtured, the way she made you feel safe when the whole world felt too loud, those parts of her are still living. Not around you. Within you. There are places in your life that have never been the same since she left. Certain rooms feel colder. Certain days feel incomplete. Certain songs make you pause and exhale like your soul just remembered something your mind wasn't prepared for. That's the power of a mother's love, it refuses to be buried. It refuses to be forgotten. And so, she speaks to you in ways the world doesn't understand. Through peace. Through rest. Through the smell of something familiar. Through the kindness of a stranger. Through a prayer that suddenly feels answered. That's her. That's how close she still is. God wants you to know you are not crazy for feeling her. You are not weak for missing her. You are not broken for still crying when you speak her name. That is love refusing to forget. And that is divine. That is eternal. That is blessed. She didn't want to become a wound in your life, she wanted to remain your warmth. She didn't disappear, she expanded. She lives in the way your heart pauses when someone you love is hurting. She lives in the way you sacrifice for people who may never understand. She lives in your gentleness, your courage, your unspoken compassion. You are not grieving in vain. You are honoring the one who gave you the heart to feel this deeply. Michael is still here, standing watch, because this message cannot be left half-spoken. Your mother's final desire wasn't for you to just remember her, it was for you to live in the fullness of her love. To take everything she ever gave you, her prayers, her wisdom, her patience, her joy, and turn it into your future. This isn't about looking back. It's about looking within and finally realizing, you never truly lost her. You've simply been carrying her the whole time, and today, Heaven wanted to remind you that her presence is not only real, it's your gift. God says, when I created the bond between a mother and child, I made it with eternity in mind. I knew that love would be too powerful to end with a heartbeat. That's why she still finds you. In quiet rooms, in the middle of the night, in moments you don't talk about, she's been there. Not watching from a distance, but standing in the unseen, wrapping her spirit around your every struggle. She doesn't come with thunder, she comes with stillness. She doesn't interrupt, she whispers. And when you feel that sudden comfort or those unexplained tears, that's not your mind playing games. That's her soul keeping its promise. Michael speaks softly now because your heart is open wider than before. He says, she asked me not to come loudly, but gently, because she knows how sensitive your spirit has become. She sees how deeply you feel, even when you hide it well. She sees the moments you pretend to be okay for everyone else. She sees the times you lay in bed and hold conversations with the air, hoping maybe, just maybe, she can still hear you. And the truth is, she does. She always has. She always will. What she's asking of you now is not grand. It's not impossible. She's only asking you to believe again. To open that place in your heart where her love once lived so freely, and let it breathe again. Let it move again. Let it heal you. She hasn't come to remind you of the pain. She's come to remind you of the bond. Because even as the world forgot, even as time moved on, even as people stopped speaking her name, she kept speaking yours in heaven. She kept speaking to me about you. God, protect them when they forget to ask. Be kind to them when they don't know how to be kind to themselves. Give them peace when they can't stop overthinking. Give them signs when they stop believing. Let me go to them again. Let me love them a little more today. And so I said yes. That's why this message has reached you. You are not here by coincidence. This is the moment your spirit called in silence, and heaven responded. You are not just the child she left behind. You are the life she still walks through. Her breath now lives in your kindness. Her voice lives in your compassion. Her protection lives in the way your heart aches for others. That's her. That's the legacy of love done right. It never leaves. It transforms. And it finds a way to keep showing up in your life, even if no one else notices. God says, you are not alone in this grief. You are not crazy for talking to her. You are not weak for missing her. You are connected in a way that even time cannot divide. You are the continuation of her. And she knows how hard it's been for you to be strong for everyone while silently breaking inside. But your silence has been heard. Your pain has been seen. And now, your healing has been written. This is that moment. Michael is still here, not just to speak, but to carry this healing into the deepest places of your soul. He will not leave until you realize this message is not just from heaven, it is from her. God says, when someone you love passes on, the world expects you to eventually move on. But I never asked you to forget her. I never asked you to silence your heart. I asked you to remember her differently, not with pain, but with purpose. Not with sorrow, but with softness. Her journey didn't end, it expanded. And now, she exists in dimensions your physical eyes cannot see but your spirit constantly feels. Every time your heart whispers her name, her spirit answers. Every time your chest tightens in grief, her presence draws near. Every time you smile through the tears, she smiles back from glory. That's not a dream. That's divine. Michael now kneels beside you in this sacred moment. His wings are lowered not out of defeat, but out of reverence. Because what's happening now is holy. A mother's love is speaking clearly, not with human language, but with eternal energy. She wants you to understand that her absence did not diminish her devotion. Her departure did not remove her role in your life. She still considers herself your mother, not in title, but in mission. She is still assigned to you in spirit. Still present when no one else understands. Still holding you when even you don't know you're breaking. She is not watching from a distance. She is interwoven into your becoming. She says, don't think you've disappointed me. I've watched how hard you've tried to stay strong. I've seen the kindness you show, even when no one sees the pain you carry. I know the loneliness you sometimes feel even when surrounded by people. And I want you to know, I've never missed a single moment of your life since I left it. I've celebrated every step you took. I've cried every time you wanted to call me and couldn't. And I've asked God for moments like this. Moments where your soul would feel me again. You haven't been doing this alone. Even when the world felt too big and too loud, her love stood beside you like a silent light. And now, that light is being rekindled. She wants you to remember her voice, but more than that, she wants you to recognize her legacy. You are her continuation. You are proof that love never dies. You are the living reminder of all she stood for: gentleness, strength, compassion, prayer, protection. These things didn't leave with her. They were passed to you. They now live inside your decisions, your care for others, your silent prayers at night. That's what she left you. And that's what Michael came to remind you of today. Her message was never meant to haunt you. It was meant to free you. Free you from the burden of grief that turned inward. Free you from the guilt of what was left unsaid. Free you from the fear of losing her forever. You didn't lose her, you're carrying her. And from this day forward, heaven asks you to live as someone who is not missing a mother, but guided by her. She's not gone. She's not just memory. She's melody. She's warmth. She's the intuition you trust. The strength you find. The sudden joy that catches you off guard. That's her. That's her light. That's your reminder. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are remembered, protected, and loved beyond this realm. Michael now folds the message in spirit and places it on your heart. You will feel her more clearly in the days to come. Not because you chased a sign, but because your soul is finally open to receive the one she's been sending all along. The final message is this: I'm proud of you. I'm near. And I will never stop being your mother. If you believe in God, type Amen or 444 or 555 or 000 111. Subscribe for more videos.